I've never had straight teeth, never had a perfect body. And oddly, as much as I spent half of my life fretting about these things, the blessings of being able to grow older brings a lot of acceptance to the things that I thought I could never accept. Imagine, I spent half of my life rejecting myself for surface level traits that have no bearing on my worth and soul. And the goal was always confidence. I always wanted to make myself proud. But when those intrusive thoughts are so loud, they cloud your judgment. They made me feel like I simply wasn't allowed, like my feet were never supposed to touch the ground. So I floated around for years, somewhere between the lostness and never being found, because I never let myself feel like I was ever worth keeping around. Now, if you know about the laws of manifestation, then you know that my thoughts alone created situations that perpetuated those wounds. I.e., if you walk into a room with a dark cloud looming over your head, then most situations led to them dark clouds starting to rain. I reopened those wounds again and again and again, till I hit that tipping point in my brain that said, that's enough. It's either time to die or it's time to change and never be the same again. I spent years blaming all of the lessons and the misinformation that caused me so much pain. But at the end of the day, it was my responsibility to change. But there's so much rage involved in healing from lack of acceptance, taking accountability that all of the resentments that ever hit me in the face with a mirror was because I didn't figure out in time that even with every single imperfection of mine, that I was still perfectly sublime. That a lot of the time I gave away what was supposed to be mine because I was trying to hide my shine so bad, and then I'd get mad when people abandoned me. But why wouldn't they? If I was willing to abandon me first, and so freely. Ideally, I would have grown up in a perfect childhood. But my lesson was that perfect wasn't ever good, and imperfection never would take anything away from me if I didn't do that first. Even worse was figuring out the power that I had, because my angriness had devoured so many amazing opportunities and people. And the dream from the beginning was to find my equal, but it was like the sequel of the series of unfortunate events. It brought me so much resentment to know that I was looking outside, for myself, for my health, as if someone else's wealth would fill a piece of me that I couldn't fulfill myself. Imagine being an overachiever that places herself on a shelf. So I gave myself permission to break free from expectations and traditions. Learning to discern was the hardest lesson ever. To go from never paying attention to my safety to learning how to do things safely with my inner child was priceless. Killing off that people-pleasing niceness and reminding myself that nice is not good, but good is kind. And the biggest difference became my mind, and the kind that I'm referring to was with me. Because until I learned how to accept my good, bad, and ugly, I would have never been free of the continuous judgment that I put onto me. Now, I haven't mastered myself perfectly by any means, but I've created a lot of boundaries, and through each one, I've remembered a piece of me. Like Humpty Dumpty, I put so many me pieces back together, filled the cracks with gold, and made myself whole, stronger, and better. I fed the belief that I could storm any weather and worked on accepting the whole me in conjunction to getting my body together so I could never be in a position again where I was not being my own friend. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface on who I truly am. This is definitely not the end. But now I have this unbreakable belief that does not bend, and I never had that before in me. I still have bent teeth and an imperfect body, but like a trolley, I now carry the unrefuted belief that none of this, or any of my imperfections, can take anything away from me.